Some days you feel good about yourself, but there are some days that you just wonder what is going on, what's wrong with me. But girl, there's nothing wrong with you. You have a broken heart. Did you know that there are physical symptoms of having a broken heart? Yes, there actually are some symptoms that you might be experiencing that you really don't know why you're experiencing these symptoms, but they are present in your life. You cannot find the root cause, and they're causing you stress, they're causing you issues, and you just want to be done with them. So I'm going to share with you some of the symptoms, some of the things that are happening in your life that can be as a result of a broken heart. Now, before I get into those symptoms, I want to just talk about having a broken heart. It's like having a broken foot. Now, having a broken foot is different from having a broken heart in that it is physical, right? Your heart is internal. It's not literally broken in two, but we say it's broken because of the sadness that you're experiencing, right? Because of what you went through as a child. But imagine having a broken foot and not addressing it, not going to the hospital, not seeing a doctor, and just hoping that it will go away, or just pushing it to the side or ignoring it. And so you're going to be popping pills, maybe some Advil, maybe some Tylenol, but if you went to the real doctor, that he would probably give you some morphine, right? So that you would not feel the pain while he's fixing it. In the same way that you would medicate a broken foot on your own, that's the way you're medicating your broken heart. So instead of using Advil, you're maybe using food, you're maybe using your job, you're maybe using another person, you're maybe using your business. Maybe you're using the TV. There are some women who cannot go to sleep without having the TV on because they know once they turn that TV off, once they turn out the lights, they're going to be having negative thoughts. Their mind is going to be racing. And so you use all of these things or one of these things to medicate yourself, right? So that you won't feel the pain from your broken heart. But God is the right doctor for your broken heart. He has the medicine that you need. But if you keep ignoring the fact that you're sad, that your heart is aching, he won't be able to address it if you don't go to him. Just like if you ignore that broken foot, the doctor is not able to treat it. So in the same way, if you ignore the fact that you're hurting, God is not able to treat it the way that he needs to, right? And so if you ignore a broken foot, the pain will get duller over time. And eventually, you'll probably get used to the pain, just like you've gotten used to having a broken heart, just like you've probably gotten used to feeling sad. It's like a part of your life, right? And your foot will heal somewhat. If you have a broken foot and you don't address it, it will heal somewhat, right? But it will not heal properly. It will not heal in the correct way. It won't heal so that you can walk on it strongly or you can run on it. And the same way, you're ignoring that broken heart and it's not healing properly. You're still experiencing some symptoms from having this broken heart. You're not able to open your heart up to being loved. You're not able to really open your heart up for that deep connection with others and with God. So if you're relying on one of the things I mentioned earlier, it's like a crutch for you, just like somebody who has a broken foot needs crutches. Your TV might be your crutch. Your job might be your crutch. And when it's taken away, it's almost like you're going to fall over because it's the thing that's holding you up. And then because of this crutch, God is almost like a third wheel in that relationship because it's you, it's your crutch, and it's God. And most times you will choose your crutch over God. You will choose to eat to comfort yourself rather than go to God and say, God, I'm hurting. You'll choose to watch that TV for hours and distract yourself rather than going to God and say, God, I'm hurting. You'll choose to work overtime at your job or overextend yourself in your business because it's your crutch, because it's the thing that you depend upon to feel good about yourself. So God is saying, look, I want to heal your heart. In Psalm 34, verse 18, he says that he's close to the brokenhearted and he saves those who are of a crushed spirit. So, girl, you are brokenhearted. God wants to save you. He wants to save your crushed spirit. So just like if you went to the hospital for that broken foot, you would get the right medication, you would get the right treatment. Yes, your foot will take time to heal, but after a time of healing, you will be able to put that foot down. You will be able to walk on it again. And it's the same thing with your heart. It will take time to heal, but you have to be patient. And you might be able to see that doctor working on your foot, right? You can see him putting on the cast, maybe doing that x-ray, maybe fixing the bone, putting in the pin, whatever it is. You will be able to see that doctor working on your foot, but you won't be able to see God working on your heart. But that's the beauty of God. He can work on your heart without you even realizing it. But you will notice that there is a change in you. You will notice that the things that used to upset you before don't upset you anymore. The things that you used to watch, you don't watch them anymore. You don't spend that much time on TV anymore. You spend the time in the Word of God. And so don't get frustrated with your journey. Don't get frustrated with your lack of progress. But you need to keep going to God. You need to keep opening up yourself to God. All right. Now let's talk about the symptoms of a broken heart. And we all know the emotional symptoms: crying, sadness, and isolation. You don't want to be around anybody, which is understandable, right? And some persons initially don't want to be around anybody, but it has become an extended thing where you still don't want to be around anybody. You want to be alone because you feel like that's the best way to protect yourself and to protect your heart. But you heal through connection. You do not heal in isolation. And you heal in connection with God first, and then in connection with man. And so that isolation is simply because of your broken heart, simply because you're hurting. The pain is dull now. So you might not be crying in the nights. You might not be feeling as hurt as you were when your father walked away initially, or when you recognized that the relationship was not as strong as it should be. But you are still hurting. You've just pushed the pain down and you're avoiding it so that you don't have to deal with it. Now, there are some physical symptoms that a few of them I was surprised at, because I did not know that these would be symptoms of a broken heart. But they are symptoms of a broken heart, not just because your heart is broken, right? It's not, oh, my heart is broken, so I'm going to be experiencing this right away. But it's over time when stress builds up in the body, when certain hormones like cortisol builds up in the body, when you're in fight or flight mode consistently, your body just starts to break down under all of that stress. And one of the first symptoms is chest pains. If you're experiencing chest pains and you have no root cause for it, you can't find a reason why you're having chest pains, it is because your heart is broken. It is because your body is under stress, and you need to give that to God. You need to open your heart for the Lord to heal you. You need to give him your worries. You need to give him your struggles. You need to give him your fears. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." He is God. He is the God who parted the Red Sea. He's the God who created everything that we're seeing. He is the God that allowed Jochebed, as Moses' mother, to be paid for raising him. Imagine that. She was paid to be his mother. That's the same God that you are worshiping now. That's the same God that you are connected to. He can heal your heart. All right. The next physical symptom is a headache. If you have consistent headaches, then it is linked to having a broken heart. The stress on your body, the emotional distress that you've been through is causing you to have headaches. I've suffered with migraines since I was a teenager, and I still suffer from them, not as often as I did when I was younger. And I have more information about them now so that I can better deal with them when they come. But because I've been on that healing journey, and it's not complete, but I I am further along than I was when I was a teenager, for sure. And they were so painful. If you know, you know. Migraines are truly terrible. And so, with your body being under all that stress, it can cause headaches. It can also cause you to have fatigue. You're not sleeping well in the nights. Like I said earlier, some of you will watch TV for hours. You might watch TV until you fall asleep. It is your nighttime medicine so that you can actually fall asleep. But you might not have a restful night's sleep just because you're having trouble staying asleep, just because you're having trouble falling asleep. You might fall asleep late into the night when your body is supposed to be rejuvenating itself and preparing for the next day. You're still awake watching TV. And so the Lord wants you to give him all of that. Give him your racing thoughts. Give him every negative thought that you have, because the word says that you can bring it under subjection to Christ. He can tame those negative thoughts. You might have appetite changes. You might have weight gain. Like I said before, there are a lot of women who struggle with food, who use food as their medication. And so it directly relates to their weight. A lot of women now are trying to lose weight and are not successful because they're focusing on the wrong thing. They're focusing on the food. They're focusing on the methods to lose weight. And it's none of those things. It is simply because you are hurting and you're using food to medicate yourself. Once you deal with that root cause, girl, you will lose as much weight as you want to. You will have no issues losing that weight. But it's not the food. It's not the type of diet that you're on. It's not the type of exercise that you're doing. Because you can lose weight by just eating right alone without even exercising. Some of you have been dieting for years, yo-yo diet. You've lost weight, you've gained it, you've tried another diet, then you've lost some weight, then you've gained it. You're restricting yourself, you're not having healthy food, and you end up binge eating those foods that are not so good for you. Girl, it's not the food. Be still in God's presence and let him work on your heart. And finally, you might have digestive issues. You might have a weakened immune system. You're getting sick all the time. Your stomach is not functioning properly. Girl, work on that heart. Work on that broken heart. Turn it over to the Lord. Open yourself up so that God can draw near to you, so that he can come in and he can sup with you. Let him take first place in your life so that he's no longer that third wheel. He is first. He comes before you. And he comes before your medication. As girl, when it's time to put that foot down, it needs to be completely healed, or else you're going to still be limping through life. God did not create you to limp through anything. He has a purpose for you, and he doesn't want you limping through it. He wants you to show up as the powerful you that he created you to be. And so I encourage you to, day by day, just reduce that crutch that you're using this much each day. Just reduce it little by little and add that time to God's time, because the more you spend the time in God's presence is the more he can work on your heart. Like I said, you might not see what he is doing. You might not see him take up that scalpel and cut away the bad pieces of your heart. You might not see him putting that balm on your heart. You might not see him sewing up that broken piece. But girl, he is working. He is working on you if you simply allow him to. And so girl, I'm praying for you. I am praying that you will allow God to take over and to take control of your life, that you will allow him to be that balm in Gilead for you, because there is no other medicine that you need to heal that broken heart. Girl, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken, but your heart definitely is. But the fantastic news is there is a doctor named Jesus that can heal you completely if you allow him to. My name is Lisa, and this channel is all about helping you, a woman who did not bond with her father, to live life fully, to heal completely through God. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them down below. I will gladly answer them. I will see you in my next video. Bye.